We're starting with the original hardware. It's classic, but not the look we're going for. So everything comes off so we can prep for a cleaner, more modern update. Next up, we're removing the ornate trim. This base molding really dated the piece, so I carefully pried all of it off to simplify the silhouette. A good cleaning is essential before any sanding or filling, so I'm using Fusion TSP Alternative to remove the grime. I put on all of my safety gear and then got started doing a scuff sand on the base and the drawers. This helps the primer and paint to adhere properly. You don't need to go to bare wood here, just enough to dull the surface. Because there's some intricate details on the legs, I used my foam pad underneath the sandpaper and reduced the speed just a little bit. While I was scuff sanding, I spotted a small area on the side that needed some filler, so I patched it and then came back to sand it smooth once it had dried. I tried QCS finish remover on the tops to start the process of stripping down to raw wood. This helped a little bit, but then I ended up needing to use my carbide scraper, and I used some mineral spirits to wipe that back, and some steel wool along the edges as well. It all removed a little bit of the finish to help with the sanding. Not sure I'd do it this way again though. While the tops dried, I filled the original hardware holes with Bondo. This gave me the flexibility to install new knobs and an updated placement. After sanding back the Bondo, I also used a DAP filler over top just to really smooth things out, and scuff sanded that back as well. Once the tops were dry, I began the process of sanding them right down to raw wood. Given this is veneer, I started with 120 grit sandpaper and finished with 180 grit. Wiping down with mineral spirits at this point gave me a good idea of what the difference would be in the two wood tones, the veneer on top and the solid wood edges. Similar, but quite different. Not a match. You can see I sanded a little bit through the veneer as well. At this point, I applied a custom paint wash on the lighter trim tone on the edges. I didn't measure, but I'd say maybe 1 part paint to 3 parts of water. I used an Algonquin and hazelwood combination for the paint. And then you can see I also just went in a little bit to the areas where I had sanded through the veneer on the edges of the top. After the paint wash had dried, I used an American walnut stain with a bit of a red undertone over top of the paint wash. May look odd, but this is going to actually help us even out these wood tones because the top has a lot more red in it. I then taped off and primed everything using my favorite black water-based primer. This step is a key for a smooth and durable finish. To tie the wood tones together, I added the same subtle gray beige paint wash to the veneer on the tops as I did to the edges of the tops. You can see I wet the surface first just to make it easier for the wash to spread out, and then applied it with a foam brush. And then I actually moved to a blue shop towel to spread it around, got a little bit more wash on the towel, and then did another little coat over top. And once that was done, we had a pretty good match. The base and the drawers of the nightstands all got 2 coats of black paint. I used Sherwin-Williams urethane trim enamel in a tricorn black with a satin finish. I find this is a smooth, durable finish, and it actually does not need a top coat. Don't always paint my nightstands upside down. I know this is a little unusual, but I thought that this was the best way to not get paint on the top edges because I had already finished them. I used the brush to cut in and then the roller for the flat surfaces, going back over it with just nice even strokes to make sure that we have a nice smooth even finish. Next, I grabbed some Varathane Diamond Wood Finish in satin. This is a durable water-based finish that won't yellow over time, and I apply it using an applicator sponge. I let it dry between coats and applied a total of 3 coats to the tops of these nightstands for some really good durability. This yellow frog tape is a little bit more on the expensive side. I really prefer it though because it leaves such a nice clean line and just makes for a more professional look. Now it was time to drill hardware holes for my new knobs. I centered them side to side and top to bottom, and then used a punch to mark the spot where the drill would go. Always measure twice and drill once. After vacuuming out the drawers and wiping them down with a tack cloth, I cut all of the drawer liners using my Ulfa Mat and rotary cutter. It's peel and stick, so it was pretty straightforward to put in place. Moving on to the knobs now, I picked these up actually at HomeSense. Saw them, loved them, didn't know what project I'd use them on, and then found that this was the perfect project. I like how they match the tops. These ones install a little bit differently than most. They've just got a little washer and nut on the back that you screw on, so I just chose to tighten it a little bit with a pair of pliers. Over time, these wooden drawer slides can get a bit sticky, so the drawers don't slide as smoothly, so I always just wax them. This is Fusion Beeswax Finish, which is a mix of beeswax and hemp oil. I use it on the slides, and then I also use it on the drawers themselves when it's wood like this. And here's the final look at the nightstands. Dated mahogany, transformed into a sleek, modern set with a cohesive natural wood top and clean lines. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this furniture makeover. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more, and don't forget to follow on social.